Now we come to element number 8 in our fairy tale, which is going to be called the paradox. Now, this takes on the idea that we were taught in school about the climax at the center of the actions, of the rising action and the falling action, and then the beginning and then the conclusion on the far ends of this. This also works with Joseph Campbell's idea that there is something lost and then it's found, or there's something lost and then it stays lost. These are all in relationship to the paradox. Here's how the paradox works. What was stable yesterday is an inspirational change today. So people are constantly moving on. This is the song codified in Bob Dylan's Like a Rolling Stone. You used to laugh about everybody that was hanging out. Now you don't talk so loud, now you don't seem so proud. How does it feel? The idea of whatever I said I would never do is actually the paradox to that led me forward to my desire, my new desire of where I'm going in the expansion of the universe. So people are paradoxes in little boxes. There's small paradoxes, there's big paradoxes, but if you stack them up, there's a whole bunch of boxes. And the main paradox is going to be the wheel in spin that is going to be the paradox at play, the vibrational ways that we go about the process of building a bridge. Where do we start to build a bridge? We got to get people, we got to get the materials, we have to have skilled people, we have to have a blueprint, we have to put it all together. So yesterday I didn't have a bridge. Maybe next year there will be a bridge where there wasn't any more. So paradox moves in the direction of what we'll use the acid and base wavelength. The base wavelength in its relationship to the Scorpio acidity that is taking you towards the climactic fixed emotional wavelength, which is also the catharsis. So in relationship to your paradox, now you may have people on the farm, you may have 19 people on the farm and have 19 different paradoxes. So together on their work on the farm, there is no harvest because they weren't they were on their own settings. They were their own individuating heroes in their own battles. And so that is where the crookedness of the paradox works. But the paradox works in your emotions very simply. If I don't have it, I feel this way. If I have it, I'll feel this way. And this is the building of it. So the character is without and is looking for. That's very simply. And now the logic that will compare to why they're without is going to be its own Narnia, its own emotional plateau. But when they begin to appreciate and ascend and become champions in their own field, the resonances will be there to have all the answers to putting things together. So life is very much a mental or resonant wavelength game of knowing the reciprocating mathematical codes. That's what paradox is about. Once I have it, if I can get off, I can find the reciprocating opposite of it. So paradox then plays out to the rising and falling action surrounding the idea of the catharsis, and then do they live happily ever after on that wavelength? It's a sine wave. So yes, they'll start here, We can do rising action, climax, and then the falling action, and then there's this stability that will surround them and always protect them, um, as the base to the acid wavelength. So people are paradoxes. They live paradoxes. They experience paradoxes. They travel for paradoxes. They stay in for paradoxes. The paradox is the box that the character plays with. So that is the archetypal element of the sine wave. Of okay, here's I read a book. The idea of the sine wave is not focusing on just offense, and not focusing on just defense, and not focusing on just the playing field, but seeing them all as an integrated whole. So the idea when working with a paradox and being without is to make your paradoxes very shallow so that the drop isn't so hard that you can't climb back up again, which again has to do with Libra's ability, which again goes back to the farmer of sowing and reaping. When he does small things, they lead to larger things. So there we go. We pulled it out. We pulled out the trolley of what a paradox is, of how to look at one, of how to relate to it. Okay, so that's going to be number 8 in the series.